your personal scent, it's saying a lot about you before you even utter a word. It's like this invisible signal. But here's something from our sources. We talk about smelling stressed. Is that just, a feeling, or does being anxious actually change your body chemistry?
Oh, absolutely.
Your
Really
be-
does. That's actually a physiological thing. Stress hormones literally change the chemical makeup of your sweat. Just think about that. Your emotional state.
Mhm.
It's altering the actual odor molecules you give off.
Wow, that's huge. And it really shows that managing your scent is way more than just, basic hygiene. So today we're doing a deep dive into cultivating an appealing personal aroma, our mission, to get past the obvious stuff and give you a real science-backed shortcut
Yeah.
for projecting that freshness, that confidence.
Exactly. We've pulled together sources covering strategy, lifestyle, biology, even the psychology of scent. And we're going to unpack 3 factors that aren't obvious things 99% of people miss.
Yeah.
There's a simple diet tweak, a wardrobe secret.
Yes.
It's a real knowledge upgrade. Because honestly, even the fanciest perfume can be, well, undermined if these basics aren't right.
Yeah, and we've all been there, right? That feeling, you showered, you felt clean leaving the house. But then that big moment hits maybe a crucial interview or a first date, and the nerves kick in, you start to sweat a bit, and suddenly you're just worried about smelling off. Confidence. Gone.
Right. And that's because scent perception isn't trivial at all. It's deeply rooted, both biologically and culturally. It genuinely impacts the impressions you make, socially, professionally.
Yeah.
So if you manage your personal aroma strategically, you're basically optimizing this whole layer of communication that, frankly, most people just ignore.
Okay, foundations first then. We hear shower daily, but our sources say that's often, well, not the full picture. Why are people still having issues if they're doing the basics?
It often comes down to the canvas, the skin itself. They're overlooking it. See, dead skin cells, they're like prime real estate for odor-causing bacteria. They trap them, create this sticky layer. So just washing over that doesn't really solve the root problem.
Ah, okay. So the answer is more strategic, like exfoliation.
Precisely. The sources point towards dry brushing or maybe using chemical exfoliants, but just say once or twice a week, not daily. This clears away the old skin, reveals the fresh layer underneath. And here's the kicker. It actually makes your deodorant work better. You're giving it a clean surface to really get in there and tackle the bacteria.
Right. That makes sense. I hadn't thought about prepping the skin for the product like that. And speaking of products, if the main worry is odor, not necessarily wetness, what's the difference? What should you reach for?
Yeah, that's the key distinction. If it's primarily about managing the smell itself, you want deodorant. Deodorants target the bacteria causing the odor. And, there are great aluminum-free options there too. But if your main issue is the physical wetness, the sweat itself, then you need an antiperspirant. Those usually have active ingredients, sometimes clinical strength, designed to actually block the sweat glands. So, yeah, depends on your main goal, fighting odor or fighting wetness.
Got it. Okay, from skin to the frame. Our clothes, this is that wardrobe secret you mentioned, that clothes can basically sabotage you even if you're clean?
Oh, absolutely they can. The fabric itself is crucial. It determines how moisture and bacteria hang around. Think about, like, natural breathable fabrics, maybe linen, some types of cotton versus those modern synthetic performance fabrics. The synthetics are often great for wicking moisture during exercise, sure, but they are notorious for trapping odors deep in the fibers over time.
Ugh, yes. That smell in gym clothes that just lingers no matter how many times you wash it. That's the synthetic trap.
That's exactly it. It's a super common problem. Like fighting LA traffic or Mumbai traffic, it needs a strategy. And that strategy includes maybe using special laundry additives designed to break down those trapped residues, making sure you use the right water temp. And this is non-negotiable. Air out your sweaty gym gear immediately. Don't just ball it up in the hamper.
Let it fester.
Exactly. Let it fester, and that smell can basically set into the fabric for good.
Okay, so we've covered the outside stuff. Skin, clothes. Now let's go internal. That old saying, you are what you eat. Is there actual truth to that for body odor?
Well, it's definitely proven science. And this is where it gets really interesting. What you eat today genuinely impacts how you smell tomorrow. Certain foods, right? They contain sulfur compounds. Think garlic, onions, cruciferous veggies like broccoli or cabbage. When your body breaks those down, the compounds don't just affect your breath. They're released through your pores, through your sweat.
Okay, so maybe skip the extra garlic right before a huge presentation. We're not banning it forever, but be strategic.
That's the idea. Be strategic. We call it the red meat rule internally because high red meat intake is also linked to certain body odor profiles. It takes the body longer to process those proteins, and the byproducts can create a stronger, more lingering scent.
And what about hydration? Does drinking more water actually help?
Yes, definitely. Water helps dilute the compounds in your sweat. Plus, it aids your body's natural detoxification processes, flushing things out. You should really tailor your water intake to your activity level, but staying well hydrated is key.
Okay, let's pivot slightly to something you mentioned earlier, the gut connection. I've heard this talked about more lately. Can an unhealthy gut really mess with your scent?
This is that simple diet tweak we promised, and it's critical. Your gut microbiome, the bacteria living in your gut, they produce metabolic byproducts as they break down food. Now, if your gut balance is off, maybe lacking diversity or overgrown with certain types, those byproducts can actually include volatile compounds. And these compounds can literally be released through your skin, contributing to body odor.
Wow, so the solution is internal balancing act. What does that look like day to day?
It really means focusing on nurturing a healthy gut environment. Think about incorporating fermented foods or probiotics, practically. Maybe some high-quality yogurt unsweetened is usually better, a bit of kimchi or sauerkraut, or even a reliable probiotic supplement. Getting that internal balance right helps minimize those odor-causing metabolic wastes from the inside.
Okay, clean skin, smart wardrobe, mindful eating, healthy gut. Now let's talk about adding fragrance. What's the biggest mistake people make here?
The absolute biggest pitfall is probably fragrance clash. Using too many scented products that just fight each other. Your soap, your lotion, your deodorant, your cologne. To avoid that, you need a basic understanding of fragrance structure. The families citrus, floral, woody, oriental are helpful, but really focus on how the scent evolves. The notes.
Right, the top, middle, and base notes. Bring that down practically. What do I need to remember when I'm spraying something on?
So the top notes are that initial blast, what you smell right away, maybe for the first 15-20 minutes. Often bright, citrusy, or green. Then the middle notes, or heart notes, emerge. That's the main character of the fragrance, what sticks around for a few hours. Florals, spices often live here. And finally, the base notes. These are the heavy hitters, woods, musks, resins. They anchor the scent and are what linger longest, sometimes for many hours. That's the lasting impression.
Okay, so knowing that, what's the smart way to apply it so those base notes really project well later on?
It's about precision, not bathing in it. You want to apply it to pulse points. Wrists, neck. Exactly. Behind the ears, inner elbows, nape of the neck, places where the skin is warmer, which helps project the scent. And here's a pro tip. Use an unscented lotion first. Apply it to those points. Let it sink in a bit, then apply your fragrance. The lotion acts like a primer, giving the fragrance oils something to cling to, making it last much longer.
Oh, nice, like priming a canvas.
Exactly. And always, always test fragrance on your skin, not just a paper strip or your clothes. Your unique body chemistry will change how it smells.
Right, and this leads to the idea of not just having one scent, but maybe a small collection.
Definitely. Think of it as building a signature scent wardrobe. Our sources really recommend having at least 3 distinct options, maybe a lighter, cleaner scent for daytime or the office, something a bit richer, more complex for evenings or dates, and perhaps a seasonal one or something for special occasions just to keep things interesting and appropriate for the context.
Okay, let's touch on a couple of less obvious lifestyle factors that sources say can undermine everything else. First, back to stress.
Yeah, we have to circle back because it's so impactful. High stress produces chemically different sweat, often perceived as less pleasant. The fix isn't eliminating stress entirely, that's impossible, but building in small, consistent mitigation tactics, like 5 minutes of deep breathing before a stressful meeting, a quick walk outside, short meditation breaks, manage the stress spikes, manage the associated odor change.
Makes sense. And the second factor, our living space. If your home smells stale, does that rub off on you?
It really can. Environmental factors are important. Think about your bedding. It absorbs skin cells, oils, sweat, needs regular laundering, and the air quality in your home or even your car. Using HEPA filters can help remove airborne odor particles. Some houseplants are also known to absorb certain odors. Basically, ensure the environment you spend time in isn't subtly adding unwanted scents to your clothes or hair.
All right, let's get to the hidden bonus, like a counterintuitive stuff. Things people do wrong, thinking they're helping. What's a big one?
Okay, the biggest one, surprisingly, might be over-showering or over-scrubbing.
Really? Too much cleaning is bad.
Paradoxically, yes. Constantly stripping your skin with harsh soaps disrupts its natural barrier and its delicate microbiome, the good bacteria that help keep the bad ones in check. When you wipe out that balance, the odor-causing bacteria can actually flourish more easily, potentially making underlying odor issues worse.
Wow. Okay, that is counterintuitive. We're trying so hard to be clean, we might be making it harder for our skin to manage itself.
Precisely. Another common oversight is forgetting certain zones. We mentioned pulse points for fragrance, but for hygiene, don't forget the nape of the neck, behind the ears, and crucially, tongue cleaning. Use a tongue scraper as part of your morning routine. So much odor-causing bacteria lives there, impacting breath and overall perception. And finally, don't underestimate the confidence loop. Truly believing you smell good because you put in the strategic work radiates confidence. That self-assurance is incredibly attractive and powerful.
Yeah, the overall message from the sources is crystal clear. Mastering scent isn't about finding one magic bullet product. It's about consistency across these different areas: hygiene, diet, wardrobe, strategy. So let's quickly recap the action plan, the 7-day habit integration takeaways.
Okay, first, nail down that morning and evening hygiene routine and make sure tongue cleaning is absolutely part of it. Second, schedule that weekly exfoliation, maybe dry brushing, and do a quick wardrobe check, paying attention to those synthetic fabrics. Third, set up hydration reminders and consciously make those nutritional tweaks, especially adding fermented foods or probiotics for gut health. And fourth, be deliberate with your fragrance layering. Use that unscented lotion as a primer. Make it a daily ritual.
Perfect. So the final thought for you listening is this: what's the one small adjustment you can make this week? Maybe it's starting the dry brushing. Maybe it's swapping one synthetic workout shirt for cotton. Maybe it's adding yogurt or kimchi daily. What single change will create the biggest compound effect on your personal aroma right away? That's your starting point.
Because those small, consistent efforts, these really do add up. They build into this overall pleasant personal scent that boosts how you feel and how others perceive you.
And that wraps up this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us as we explored the science and strategy behind mastering your personal scent. Remember, every insight gets deeper on the second listens, so make sure you save this episode in your library. And hey, if you have a friend who could use a scent strategy upgrade, share this with them. Tell them about the Red Meat Rule episode. They'll know what you mean next time.
We're diving into sources on a fascinating cognitive bias, one that makes us completely blind to the obvious. Understanding it can save you thousands of dollars and, honestly, tons of wasted time. We'll reveal the simple visual cue your brain ignores every single day, costing you big time. You really won't want to miss it.